All right, buddy. Welcome back to Grue, and thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking time, man.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I'm so happy to be back. It's been a minute since I've went like public like this, and I'm so excited to talk to you, bro. It's been way too long.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, the first thing I want to start asking you, like, talk about like the film and television world for a little bit before we get into your songs, your music.
Sure.
Um, you wrote and starred in a film, Sincerely Joel, and
Yeah.
like, what inspired the film?
Man, that is such a cool question. What inspired the film? Honestly, I do a lot of um I spent a lot of time like on like YouTube University and stuff, just like studying independent filmmaking. Um, and I spent a lot of time studying like independent filmmaking and stuff, and seeing like what works and like what doesn't, I guess. In my own opinion, like just like trying to figure out like what kind of films I want to make.
Mhm.
And I guess I was really in the mood to make a short film and to do something that, I could put my best foot forward with. And like to me, a story a story that's this like insane like like space odyssey like Star Wars like level kind of thing like just is not like it'd be fun to do, but it's not super realistic for my price range in particular, like it's a hard thing to make with the integrity that I'd want to make it with, and like the ability to really like tell a story. So I wanted to tell a really like, boots on the ground, very like authentic, raw human story. Because a lot of times I mean, I'm a big fan of like Richard Linklater, who's like made like the Before trilogy,
Yeah.
or like, Jim Jarmusch, who like, basically makes all these like life movies that are just like, exploring like, these little like catty corners of society and of civilization, or Jeff Nichols, who likes to make movies about, like working class citizens.
Mhm.
Um, and I've always been like really interested in that. And so I just had a thought. I was out eating at a diner one day with a couple of my friends, and I saw this like old man like sitting over in a booth just like eating by himself. And it's like there's so many people like that we meet in this world that's like no one's ever bothered to ask a question.
No, yeah,
And
totally
so
agree.
a big part of it, is it's me kind of making like a social statement, I guess, and saying, personally, I have a big problem with like the idolization of actors and of like media figures.
Hmm.
Because it's like, it's a job to me, just like it's a job to anybody else. And like people like, come up and are like, what is it like to work on like this set? And what is it like to do this, that, and the other thing? And like, oh my God, like blah, 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 blah. You're so amazing. But it's like, would you ever bother to ask a construction worker that? You know what I mean? Or like, would you ever bother to ask like a dishwasher at a diner that? Like, probably not.
Yeah,
Like
most likely not. Yeah.
exactly. And so the kind of the thematic statement of the film is to say like, what would these people say if we bothered to ask them a question? You know? Um, and so that was kind of the point, is it's just about being inquisitive, but being sincerely inquisitive, like not being like, oh man, like, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? But like, like, I mean, but like being serious about it and being sincere. And that there's room for tenderness,
Mhm.
and honesty, in a world that can be really cold a lot of the time, and obviously both the main character Joel and George, the character that I play, are really heavily infused with personal attributes of my own, that I find myself slipping into a lot of the time, which is that I can be really harsh and like emotionally blocked, and it's like I had a friend tell me the other day, like the most, am I allowed to swear at all?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I had a friend tell me the other day that like one of the most badass things you can do is be yourself, you know? And so that's a big part of the movie is both Joel and George Like Joel had gone through a period of his life where he was emotionally blocked, and
Mhm.
and he lost his wife while he was still in that place, and it tore him up inside, and so now he's learned from his mistakes quite harshly, and he's trying to convey that message to George, who's at a place where he's emotionally blocked, you know.
Wow.
And it's about finding a little bit of sensitivity within yourself. I mean, and that's the tagline of the film, is you know, you're beautiful when you're sensitive.
Damn, that's awesome. That really is. I love it. And and for you to make like a type of film like that, that's really cool. I mean, like you were saying, like you do like film and television, and you
Yeah.
you have fans that follow you on certain films and certain shows, and to show like this 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 side of you, like the real side, like the human side,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about for me,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And I saw like another show that you were on that I saw all your pictures from the set. You were on the set for the TV series Found.
Yeah.
And how, tell me about playing Jay. Like what kind of role did you have in the series?
That was a really, really fun shoot. Easily the most fun I've had on a set in a really long time. It was cool. It was good to be back in Atlanta. It was the first time I've been back there since I did Hillbilly Elegy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really, really great to be back in Atlanta for the period of time that I was there. Honestly, like that shoot was just so um it was such a tight ship, and like everyone like knew exactly what the mission was. Like everybody got the assignment,
Mhm.
everyone did their homework. And that was just really cool, because you could just tell it was one of those sets where there was a very, very strong and very clear like vision that had to be carried out. And, not every set is like that. I mean, you don't realize it whenever you're young. I mean, but like since I've been an adult now working in the industry, it's different. And you realize who's got a strong hold on the ship and who doesn't know if we're sailing straight into a storm, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good way of putting it.
But no, there were no storms on that set at all. And in particular, it was the cast of that set that really just, I mean, like, so warm and just so welcoming. Like everyone was really happy to be there. And Shanola Hampton, she was really, really incredible and just such a sweet, sweet woman. And Brett was awesome, man. Brett was really, really cool. He plays Trent. He plays Trent
Oh, okay.
on the show. And Brett Dalton. Yeah, he was really, really cool. We geeked out about like, men's fashion for a while, which was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, Sh Sh Shanola seems like so awesome and so funny and so sweet. I mean, I
Yeah.
loved her on Shameless,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and it like that personality, like that character she played on Shameless seems like how she really is, like that outgoing, funny person.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, every morning you could feel her presence radiate
Mhm.
that when she would show up. I mean, and she was just the life of the party. I mean, we'd be there at, 6 o'clock sometimes in the morning, and she'd be ready to go. Like, I mean, we would like do like a little like we would sing a song before our first take.
Nice.
And yeah, like a little like group song. It was fun, man. It was really, really fun. I mean, and that's something I've been picking up recently, or like what shows professionalism, and like leadership qualities in actors in particular. Because it was like that when I did another show in January, that Colin Farrell was in, and that being on set with him and like watching him work, I was like, man, like he makes everybody, and Shinola had a very similar quality, but like
Yeah.
they just make everybody feel so welcomed, and so like safe to be
Mhm.
vulnerable, because it's hard, like if you feel insecure on a set to really like put your best foot forward. But with both of those actors in particular, like they just make you like they allow you the space to be fully creative, you know just by being warm, and like they'll like look at you and be like, I'm with you. Are you with me? Are you good? We're good. All right, let's do it.
Oh,
And it's a really cool like team group effort kind of thing.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have to ask this: did anyone sing the Saved by the Bell theme to Zach Zach Morris, Mark Paul?
That is a big no-no. Like that is a big no-no. I mean, I actually I didn't work with him at all.
Yeah.
But I got the memo before I showed up on the set, and it's like you do not mention Saved by the Bell.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, like you do not mention it.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay.
Honestly, though, if I was like his level and I was like working on a set like that or something, and like someone like brought up like, you know, Diary of Wimpy Kid to me, I'd low key also be kind of rattled. So
No, true, true, true. You're right. You're right about that.
yeah,
I I mean, as a kid growing up, like that was my show. Like Saved
sure.
by the Bell, like memorize like the theme song and everything.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and those childhood properties have a special place in everybody's heart, but it's different when you're trying to be a professional, you
Oh
know.
no, yeah,
I never really got that before, but it definitely like makes sense to me now. Like there's just a certain, I mean, not even to sound like pretentious or anything, but like you do kind of want to be taken seriously a
yeah,
little bit more
exactly.
as a professional trying to do your job.
Yeah, because like Mark did that show when he was a kid,
Yeah.
and he's trying to do serious roles now, like in Found, and I'm sure he just don't want to talk about Zach Morris like the whole entire time. He wants to focus on other things.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I I know the show isn't out yet. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it. Like, is there anything you could say about playing Adam on pen the pen the Penguin the Penguin series?
Yeah. No, there's virtually nothing I can say about it. It's it's there's not a whole lot I can say. It was
Okay.
a very, very fun set to be on.
Okay.
Um, I will say, as like a DC fan, like I
Mhm.
am such a nerd. Like I love comic books, dude. I love them. Like it's like
I know.
me, comic books are like what like like Love Island is for like a 19-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It's like it's my guilty pleasure. It's like I like to sit back with like a decaf coffee, maybe like a bowl of popcorn, and like read a stupid like Spider-Man comic or
Oh
something.
yeah, of course.
I mean, because it's just like it's just easy, like fast food entertainment, and I love it.
Mhm.
And so being able to actually like, work on like a superhero property was kind of like a huge deal for me. And I definitely geeked out a little bit, being on that set and getting to experience, um, a piece of that world. And also it was really cool because they shot the show. I can say this. They shot
Okay.
the show, the same way that they shot the Batman movie, which
Oh.
I think is so cool, and it makes it like feel like aesthetically consistent with the film, because like it's shot also with anamorphic lenses, and it's got the same color grade as like the Batman movie. And this is all like film
Nice.
stuff that I'm talking about now, but like it is cool, and it goes a long way for me to make the show feel similar to the movie. Like there's like a consistency there. So I really like that a lot. And also we shot on a lot of practical sets.
Okay.
There was very minimal use of like we didn't use any blue screen, actually, any blue screen or green screen or XR, like I don't, like on the days that I was there we didn't use any of that. And like
Oh wow.
showing a lot of set pictures from other sets that they were shooting on, and like a lot of it, like I would say like probably like 80% of the show is on a practical, like like tangible location.
Oh
um
okay.
which I think is so cool, because obviously like we're in this modern era, and like especially like you see like a lot of like Marvel projects, not the dog on Marvel. I mean, like, hey, like if you want to hire me ever, like cool. Um, you see like a lot of like Marvel projects like shooting on like, like these like XR labs or like, like blue screen
Mhm.
or whatever, whatever. Um, and it's kind of a bummer, because you're like, man, like as an actor, it bums me out, but also as a director, it bums me out. You know what I mean? Like half of the fun is like creating this like fantasy land that you can like, play around in. Like that's why we do what we do, is it's like it's
Yeah.
all just recess for us. It's all just going to the jungle gym at recess. Um,
That's
that's what
true.
it is for me anyway. Um, and so like them actually having these like tangible sets where like we're shooting at was just gave me a lot of hope, I guess, for the future of the industry, knowing that there's still proprietors of that out there,
Oh yeah.
you know.
And like you said, you're a big comic book guy and superhero guy. So,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on um oh my God, why am I blanking on his name now? Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, like becoming Doom.
Oh man, you opened up a whole can of worms, dude. My thoughts on that, I mean, I was kind of excited when I first saw it because it's like, I love RDJ. Like, who doesn't love RDJ? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
your first immediate reaction is like, yeah, he's a professional. He's gonna knock it out of the park, like
Yeah.
he's great and he can totally play the role. The biggest issue I feel is I think it really belittles the actual Doctor Doom character. Um, because I feel like they might go this route where it's like Tony Stark is Doctor Doom in like the multiverse or something. And I just think it takes away from Victor Von Doom as a character. Because Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark, like the whole thing is that like they're walking a very thin line. They're just on opposite
Mhm.
sides of it. Like Tony Stark is it's like, he wants to have armor all around the world. And Victor Von Doom wants to have armor all around the world. It's just one is marginally more tyrannical and dictatorial than the other one is.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like they have the same mission, but like they're just they're two completely separate and like distinct characters from each other. And to like, I don't know, to like marginalize Doctor Doom and like summarize him as just being Tony Stark, but a bad guy. I'm like, I'm not with that. I can't get
I know,
behind.
right? I know.
And also, I think it's kind of cheap. I think it's kind of cheap. I think Marvel's like, we need a Hail Mary. We need something that's going to save the universe. Bring back RDJ. He's the guy who
Yeah.
founded the universe. And I just think
Yeah.
it's cheap. I think they're creatively bankrupt. That's my opinion.
I trust me, I'm 100% on the same page. I don't like the fact that he's playing Doom. Like, I mean, I know everyone misses him. Like he was like the person that everyone loved
Yeah.
in the Marvel world because Robert Downey like was absolutely amazing as Iron Man.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they kind of wanted him back, and they needed to find a way to bring him back after they killed him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bummer. And it's like, he's not even like, how long are they going to keep him around for? Like, he's almost like, he'll be 70 by the time the next Avengers movie comes out. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to keep this guy until he's in his grave? Like, Jesus.
I know exactly. You're right.
I mean, I just like, I mean, I'm sure he's like walking into like, you know, some very nice perks
Well, yeah,
from
of course.
him. But at the same time, like I'm like, dude, like he just did Oppenheimer. Like he's on a fast track to going back to being like RDJ, the Oscar award-winning actor.
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
like, dude, like you're gonna take a step back and do that. I mean, it's just it bums me out for what could have been the future of his career. Because I was excited, man. I was in the RDJ roller coaster.
Nice.
You
Nice.
know? I don't know.
and and like I've been seeing your posts, like you've been killing it with the songs. Like you sound amazing, you play amazing,
Thank you.
and you've been doing like a lot of live stuff too now, a lot of gigs. And what
Yeah.
are some of the live shows that stand out to you the most?
Um, Some of the live shows that stand out to me the most. Well, I will say the first one that comes to mind is I had a solo gig last weekend at this club, a little north of Savannah, and
Hmm.
it was an outdoors venue, and I was probably about like 2.5 hours into the gig. I had about like a half an hour to go, so I got through most of the gig, but I was playing Purple Rain on my third set,
Ooh.
and it started raining. And so we had to like get everything like off the stage and like indoors and whatever. But like I just remember being like, damn, like I really spawned rain. I really
You
spawned.
made it rain.
I know it was Purple Rain. I just wanted to see you laughing underneath the Purple Rain. Like, what can I say?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you're doing these gigs, like these live shows, what do you love most about being on stage and being live?
Um, it's just such a release for me. Like it's such a like everything that's like in here, and in here just can like kind of meet here and exit. you know.
Sure.
Um, and that's the way that it feels for me. I mean, it took a long time to get there, because for a while it's like you go on stage and you're playing songs for the audience. And if you play songs for the audience, you'll never win. You'll never, 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 never win because it's not you being authentic, and it's not you being actually creatively expressive. It's you looking for a pat on the back, and you looking for a hey, good job, I love when you cover the Eagles Take It Easy. I mean, you're not as good as the Eagles, but you're doing okay, you know what I mean? Like, and that's really like all it is. But like now I've gotten to this place where like I feel very comfortable being on stage, and like laying out, everything that I have going on with me at that time and putting that into my songs, and hopefully people can connect to them. Sometimes they don't, and like especially if I'm playing for like an older crowd in particular, like
Gotcha.
they don't really connect as strongly with the songs. But like I've had like these like young people come up to me after my shows and are like, "Hey man, like are you on Spotify? Like that original song that you played like really like that hit me. Like I need that on my playlist, you
Oh
know?"
wow.
And that's who I'm making the music for, And like I said, and a lot of it's really self-indulgent too. I mean, honestly, it's all really self-indulgent because it's like, I get my heart broken and I go to bed crying on my pillow at night sometimes. I mean, everybody goes through it, and then you
Oh yeah,
write
of
songs
course.
about it, and you put it into your art, and then you cast it out there, and then you can kind of feel a little bit better. And so I've just been trying to tap into that passion recently, and that vulnerability, and just trying to be
Hmm.
more honest on stage. Because people see right through it. As soon as you start bullshitting, people see right through it. They
You're
do,
right. You're right.
So
Eh,
you got to be honest and you got to be vulnerable.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean that always comes from like from good as song, any song that you could think of that you absolutely love usually comes from an artist that was going through something and they wrote it down and put it out there and usually the best songs are when an artist is going through something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's been a tumultuous last year. It's been a lot of growing pains,
Mhm.
but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's just all about how you handle it,
Yeah,
and where you direct that energy.
definitely.
Yeah.
And is there like a certain song you love playing live the most, like whether it's one of your own songs or a cover song?
Yeah, I would say the song I love to cover the most is Voodoo Child. I have
Oh,
an
nice.
absolute freaking blast playing Voodoo Child every time. I mean, like we go.
Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's funny. Yeah, no, Voodoo Child, and then like we'll do like Voodoo Child into Third Stone from the Sun, which is another Hendrix song. And that's really, really fun. And then probably my favorite original to play right now live is either a song that I wrote called Price Street. Um,
Okay.
or a song that I wrote called Tortured. Price Street's really cool because like I do this thing where like you can kind of like tap the bridge pickup of like your electric guitar and it
Okay.
makes this like, very like percussive kind of sound. And then you can like tap notes on the guitar. And you can get this like really like rich harmonics that like come from it. And so I've been like messing around with those kinds of sounds recently and I open the song with like a little jam over that kind of vibe. Um and then yeah, I mean usually people just really like it and they really like the lyrics. I like there's this like one lyric in the song that's like you put the bullets in the gun, you knock the air out of my lungs and like
Oh wow.
people usually like cheer on that lyric for whatever reason. I don't know
Nice.
why. But yeah, no. So that song and then there's a song called Tortured that I wrote, which is just
Mhm.
about how like hurt people kind of thing, you
Oh
know?
yeah, we all know that.
Yeah. And that's kind of what that song's about. Um, and that's a fun song. Like it's a very dark song, but it's got this like very like surf rock kind of guitar part over it, you know. It's like Radiohead meets the Beach Boys kind of vibe.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
And like most artists have like when they're playing a song or playing live, like do you have a get 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 guitar that you love the most, like you like using the most?
Absolutely. Yeah, my black Stratocaster that I play.
Okay.
It's not really a Strat. It's technically like a parts caster. Technically, but it aesthetically resembles a Stratocaster for the guitar nerds out there. Um, but yeah, that guitar, my dad and I assembled all the parts for it and then like we
Oh my
like
God.
put it together. So yeah, my dad and I built that guitar and I love it. It's just like everything about it is like stuff that like I very carefully picked out that I knew that I wanted
Mhm.
um for my dream guitar.
Yeah.
So everything's very specific to me and yeah, I mean it was just something, you know, lightning strikes kind of thing. Um we just
Damn.
we just got it really really right and that's my number one favorite. Always will be.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about like writing and making, like you have a album out or a EP that's out, Sun is set, and what inspired you to write the songs and sing them and everything?
Oh man, dude, it has been so long since I talked about Sunset. Those songs in particular, like I said, I've got like a lot of like unreleased stuff right now that I'm working
Yeah,
on. Um, but the Sunset stuff, I mean, a lot of that was stuff that I wrote freaking, oh man, like I wrote a lot of that in between like the summer before junior year until like the winter of my senior year in high
oh
school.
wow,
Yeah, and so a lot of that stuff is very like, you know, coming of age, like adolescent, like, you know,
well yeah,
boy pop kind of stuff. Which is cool. Like the song Out of Control, um, is a very youthful interpretation of what you think love feels like. And it's funny because like in retrospect, that was not love at all. You know what I mean? Like that was not even close to love.
yeah, that's true.
Um, but it, you know, it was like that song was inspired by the first time I had ever had a gut-wrenching feeling toward
Mm, okay.
someone that I, you know, thought that I might have loved.
Yeah,
And then when it was an unrequited love, it felt like, you know, you're getting your heart ripped out of your body, you know? And that was what spawned that song, Out of Control. And Traveler's Blues, another song on the EP, that's just sort of about being like, you know, all through high school and middle school, I was always acting. Like I was always in
yeah,
another city or another state, you know, working on something. And so Traveler's Blues is just kind of about like finding comfortability in uh the loneliness of being on the road. And
makes
admitting to
sense.
yourself that, you know, like, yeah, like you're a traveler and it sucks sometimes and these are my
Yeah,
blues, but also this is like who I am and sue me, you know? Um, so that's kind of what that song's about. And then honestly, there's another song. It's Not My Time It's not my time.
Okay.
That song is that's a very like, I'm a 17-year-old boy who's like, ready to go because it's like, like you're right there. It's like your senior year of high school, you're
Yeah.
almost an adult, but like not quite.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it's not my time is basically just saying like, look, like I'm here right now and it sucks and I want to go, but it's not my time yet. So let me just enjoy where I'm at for right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Struggle to stay present, but just be here. And then when it is my time, it'll be my time. And so that's kind of what that song's about. And then the other song, Death by Fire, my favorite song on that EP, actually. I totally forgot about that song. I would still play that now. But that song is about that's probably the darkest of the bunch, but that's about just kind of feeling like you're being eaten alive by you know by alienation.
Mm,
um and death by fire is sort of a metaphor for being alienated your whole life, because like as an artist growing up in like a suburban town where like the three sport athlete is king,
yeah.
it's real easy to feel like an imposter, and so that's what death by fire is about. It's like not necessarily dying. I mean, in some extreme cases, like sure, but just more so about feeling like, you're losing yourself because, you're not allowed to showcase any parts of yourself to anybody.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you were now a college student because like last time I talked to you on here, I think you were still in high school yet. So you're now a college student, and
Yeah.
how's the college life been?
Man, it's craziness. It is so crazy. It's very different from high school. High school was a very relatively tame experience for most of my life. And being in college now has been it's really thrown me for a loop, that's for sure. And it's kept me on my toes. I mean, I've met so many people that have inspired growth and inspired, a healthy amount of change in me for sure. I mean, my best friend and partner till the day I die, my friend Luca. We make movies together.
Oh, really?
We co-write on scripts together. I mean, he's my ride or die. I mean, like we want to like at some point like we're gonna properly start a company together. We're in like the stages of kind of getting it up and off the ground now.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, and he's my number one guy, and he's pushed me so hard as a director and as a storyteller. I mean, he's because like any kind of bits of crazy and chaos that I have going on here mixes perfectly with the organization and structure and attention to detail that he has, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
And it's just such a perfect combination because like I'll go crazy and I'll be like, but what if this? But what if this? Like, what if the world explodes? Like, what if this happens? And then he'll kind of rein it in and be like,
Nice.
well, hold on. How do we effectively communicate that? You know? Like I'm like the psycho with the visions, and then he makes art out of my visions.
That is definitely perfect. Like that's the perfect person to have. Yeah.
It's absolutely genius, and I would be nowhere even close to the level of storyteller that I am without him. I mean,
Oh,
I
wow.
I owe him so much. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll like me and him will come on here and talk about some of our projects at some point.
Oh my God. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You would like Luca. You would like him a lot.
Oh,
But
okay.
no, he's been such an awesome friend, and a number of other people that I've met at school have really helped me push the envelope and inspired me, because like now like all my life I was never around other, people that were as passionate
Yeah.
about creativity as I was. And now I am. And I'm seeing all these people who are really, really good at art, like amazing at art. I mean, like, even like, my friends who aren't even filmmakers necessarily, but my friends who are like fashion majors or like design majors. And I see these like pieces that they put together. and it blows my mind, and it makes me want, even though they're not making films necessarily, it makes me want to be a better filmmaker, because I'm like, man, like I got to earn my keep, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's no room for slack, like I don't want to let myself get off easy. Like I want to be up to par with these other people who are absolutely killing it.
Well, you're definitely killing it. So you're definitely on the same level with them because you've been doing great. So you're you're definitely killing it too.
Thank you, Gru.
You got it, bud.
Appreciate that.
And like, what kind of stuff do you like doing now during your free time when you're not like doing schoolwork or doing acting or music?
Man, I don't know. I'm not a big activity guy. Like recently I've been a big time homebody. Like I'm chilling here right now at my girlfriend's house, and like that's honestly the best. Like we just like, woke up this morning, made breakfast, had a slow morning, had a cup of coffee, and
Okay.
like that's kind of the stuff that I like live for. Um
Oh, good,
More than anything is
good.
just the slow stuff. Hanging out with people that I care about, spending time with people that I care about. My parents live close to me now, so it's been nice to spend time with them, and make some new friends this summer as well. I'm taking summer classes, so I've made a lot of new friends.
Oh, okay.
We like to spontaneously like go to Tybee sometimes, which is the beach that's near us.
Oh, okay.
So we'll take like a day trip up there. Or sometimes, like I remember a couple weeks ago, I got off work at like midnight, and they were like, "Do you want to go to the beach?" And I was like, "Yeah, like let's go to the beach." So we went at 1 o'clock in the morning.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's all about spontaneity. But I'm pretty much just, you know, yeah, I guess devoting most of my time to the people that are really, really important to me. I've kind of tried to narrow uh my close friends down to like a small handful, just because I felt like I was really kind of over expending my time last year a lot with a lot of people that I didn't know. It's just like it's just you don't really know like if someone actually cares about you. And like now I've kind of come to a place, like a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, where I know who are who the people are that want to stick by me uh through thick and thin. And those are the people that I really, really care about. And so I guess I'm just working on trying to be a good friend right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You, you know, I have to say I'm so happy for you. Like you came a long way. Like I remember like our previous talks, like you were dealing with a lot of of stuff and
Yeah.
bullying and everything else, and you came a long way. Like you're happy now. You have friends. You have a girlfriend. And you're loving life now. You're loving your college, your school, and
Yeah.
it's so good to see that. I'm so happy you found that that good place, you know?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I mean, thank you so much, Gru. And I mean,
Mhm.
you've absolutely been there with me through thick and thin, and and I appreciate that, and I'll never forget that, man. I'll never forget that. I mean, and that's if that's any takeaway from any of this, is like, even if like you are the weird art school kid in your high school full of three-sport athletes, like there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You just got to fight a little bit for it.
Yeah, definitely. And you're living proof of that. You kept moving forward. You never let it stop you, and you're at a really good place now, and you're living proof that if you keep moving forward, you'll come out of it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was not easy.
Mhm.
But I've found people that really care about me and allow me to be myself, and the most badass thing you can do is be yourself 100%. And like it's so easy to forget that. And I forget it often. I had someone say that to me last night, and all of a sudden it's like, of course it is. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yes.
Sure.
And I can't have a show without talking about horror films. So, is there any new horror films that you've seen as of late?
You know what? There is actually. I watched a horror movie made by A24 called X.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and that's
yes.
not super new, but it's new for me. I got put onto it recently and I watched that and I freaking loved it, man. I mean, I'm no horror enthusiast, like you're asking the wrong guy. I don't have a big opinion about it, but I mean, for what it was, and it's not that I don't like horror movies, it's just not
Yeah.
like the first thing that I
Well,
gravitate
yeah.
towards. But no, I loved it, man. I loved X. I thought it was a really, really well-made movie. A little gimmicky at times, but I think there's also a degree of that that's sincere. You know what I mean? Like it's meant to feel like a 70s thrasher.
Of course.
And I like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I'll take the gimmicks. It's the same way I feel about Death Proof by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
Death Proof is super gimmicky, but like it's supposed to be. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Exactly. That's the kind of movie it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought the cinematography was cool. I thought the direction was cool. I thought all the actors did a really, really great job. I'm excited to see like the spin-offs that they're like making of it or whatever.
Mhm.
Be interesting. I mean, I'm not super invested in the characters, but I will watch it at some point, I'm sure.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you want to plug? Like anything you're allowed to talk about? Like, is there anything you want to plug, like music wise or film wise?
I guess I'll say film wise first, watch Penguin. Stick it out till the end in particular. Watch Found, season two. Um, oops, sorry about that. Watch Found season two and watch Sincerely Joel coming out September 20th, I believe is our release date. Um,
Okay.
yep, watch Sincerely Joel coming out September 20th. And any film festival that we submit it for, we're gonna like post it on our Instagram and stuff like that. And make sure you vote for it. And yeah, we're super proud of it. I'm super proud of it. I wrote the script last summer. We shot it over this last winter and we just finished editing it this summer. And yeah, it's a very, very personal and important story to me. So watch that. Be on the lookout for more projects as well. We're getting ready to start production on a new project that we just got greenlit. So that's really
Ooh,
exciting.
sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna do that and working very, very loosely working on an album right now.
Nice.
I'll have more details about that, but just stay tuned. If you like indie rock kind of, boy pop kind of stuff, like you'll like the album. So yeah, stay tuned.
Oh, sweet, bud. And the last thing I'll ask you is where can fans follow you and keep up with everything at?
Yeah, so I would say the best way to follow me is probably on my Instagram. Um, I'm not really on any other social media. I probably should be. I don't really go on Facebook though. I have a Facebook page, don't use it. I don't even know if I have the app downloaded. I have a Twitter, don't use it. Um, yeah, I would say probably the best place is Instagram. It's my first name, Jula, Gyula underscore my middle name, Owen, Owen underscore Asztalos, Asztalos. And yeah, I post most of my stuff there on my Instagram. And is there anything else? Oh, my YouTube. Go follow my YouTube. Um, that's Jula's Art, which is my first name,
Yeah.
Gyula, Jula's Art. And that's where like we put a lot of our movies up and stuff. And we're getting ready to start a new page as well that people can be on the lookout for called GGX Productions, GGX Productions. And that's the new production company that we're getting up and off the ground.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah,
Well, it was really good talking to you again, bud. Thank you so much for doing this.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Rocco. I always have a blast talking to you, man. It's always great to see
Same.
you.
Yeah, definitely. Always good seeing you. And like I said, every time I see you post when you're doing your live gigs and your music and all the stuff, like I'm so happy to see that. Like
Yeah.
you're also killing it at the gym too. You look jacked in that last picture.
Oh, I'm trying, you know. I've been eating more, I guess. I mean, you know, whatever physique I have is pretty much sponsored by my girlfriend's cooking. So yeah, you've heard a thing for that.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, I will definitely talk to you again soon. So thank you and have a great day, man.
Awesome. You too, Rocco.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Um,